Hey toy fans, Aaron here, and today I'm finally going to take a look at the BB-8 playset. Been playing around with this the last few days. Let me set this down. And in my opinion, it's just a wonderful playset. Now this review is going to get a little bit lengthy, so sorry about that. But I tell you what, if you want to skip like the looking at the box portion of this review and just get to what BB-8 looks like and sounds like, you can head to this time right now, just skip ahead and you'll find that. As I start going through the sounds of BB-8, I'll put another little time marker on the bottom of the screen so you can skip past what he sounds like and then get into the transformation from BB-8 to the playset. So hopefully that helps you out if you're not interested in some of this. So anyways, let's get on to that review. Quick look at the packaging. If you're a collector and want to display the box, you really have two options. Vertically, as you're seeing here, where you see BB-8 with the actual size shown, seeing the playset open off to the side, and then at the bottom corner seeing a shot of the included Force Link band along with Snoke and the Praetorian Guard figures. And then rotating this around to the right, you still have a vertical image showing you the various features of the playset and the lines of dialogue spoken. Rotating right again gets you a horizontal look for the packaging, giving you a nice look at the playset with some nice artwork of Stormtroopers, Rey, Finn, Snoke, and so on, doing some type of action type scene here. Could be a fantasy type situation, or maybe this is a little hint of what we're going to see in the movie. We'll find out soon enough. And then again on this side showing you the bonus items that are included. And then flipping to the other side is another horizontal look at the playset. I'd show the top and bottom, but I don't have the space to show it off here, so let's just get the playset out of the box. And real quick, just in case you're interested in how it's packaged inside the box, here's a look at that. Obviously, you got little bits of pieces stored off to the side, so you got some assembling to do, along with some stickers to apply. Now, from opening the box and applying the stickers and having it ready to play with as a toy took me about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. I found the sticker instructions easy to follow. There's little indents where the stickers should be placed on the playset. Now, so here we go. I've got 3 AA batteries that go into the back of BB-8's head, and then the final bit is to raise his antenna, giving you a first look at the playset in its BB-8 form. With that antenna up, BB-8 tops out at about 22 1/8 inch tall. For any of you collectors wondering what shelf height you would need for this. To note, this is probably just over half a BB-8 droid. As you can see, as I flip it to its side, you can see the back is flat. And I'll continue real quick showing this off in its BB-8 form, giving you a look at what the outer shell looks like. And it's pretty nice looking. The painting looks great as well. Looking at the head, you have the dark gray around the top. Nice looking eye port and holographic projector area. And then just below the eye port is a little light up area for the electronics. The same spot exists on BB-8 that we've seen in the movies, but I don't recall if this area lights up. I don't think it does, but I could be wrong. Pushing this gray part above the eye port activates the sound and lights on the head, along with a little red light in his eye port. And here's a listen to the various sounds it makes. I think that's got it cycled through each of them. So a pretty good variety of sounds for BB-8, and it sounds really good too. As for the main body, it looks just like BB-8. I like the painting and the detail in the molding of the plastic. The dark gray patterns look pretty spot on to me as to how BB-8's body should look. So for this playset folded up into BB-8, this will look very nice if you choose to have it displayed in this manner, or if you're a parent, this will move out of the way easily and still look great as well. Now for the part we're all wanting to see, which is the actual playset portion of this toy. Changing BB-8 over to the playset is just a few steps. Flip down the antennas on the top of the head, and then on the back side you need to remove these 2 platform panels, and we'll put those off to the side for later. Pull down this stabilizer panel, which helps keep the playset steady while in use, and then you have 2 arms that fold down into the slots on this panel to keep things in place. Slide this little white lever on the back center of the bottom area and lift up BB-8's head by the handle. Then at the front of BB-8, push the center white circle and just flip the head back. There is a stabilizer piece for the back of the head on the platform. I'm not using mine since it'll fold against the head and it'll probably mark up the top of BB-8's head. And I really don't want to be doing that with mine. Moving along, you just swing out the sides of the body to finish opening it up. And now for the final parts of getting this thing set up. You fold up the little plastic pieces of the trash compactor and stormtrooper that's got stickers on each side. On your initial assembly, they just slide into place but can stay there while the playset is closed. The red ramp simply slides into the slots on the left side and then repeat the process on the right side for the larger platform piece. This center bottom piece folds out to reveal the detention area. The chair is just two pieces that snap together and then you can place it on either the front or back peg, whichever one you want to do. This middle section has a sizable panel that you snap on and has a breakaway feature. The cannon gets placed on this rotating platform, which also gets snapped together as well. It's like three pieces for that. And then moving up to Snoke's throne area, you raise up the chair and then lift up the headrest piece that's kind of behind the chair. And now you're ready to play. And looking at this playset opened up, wow, I gotta say, this thing is amazing. At least to me, I think Hasbro has done a fantastic job designing this playset, making it work within the shell of BB-8, having it open up, transform into something that has lots of imagination that can be used to play with all your Star Wars figures, or just, if you're a collector, have them just displayed on a shelf. Taking a look at each area, starting with the top. As I mentioned already, this is Snoke's throne room. The chair seems like it might be a decent representation of what we might see in the movie. It certainly seems like it looks like what we saw in the hologram of The Force Awakens. Maybe the seat itself should be a little higher off the floor though. For a guy with tall legs, it doesn't seem like he has much leg room from where he sits to where his feet hit the floor. Sliding Snoke on the chair and, well, a bit more articulation on the figure would help the look here. His legs kind of dangling out in the air. Otherwise, he fits in nicely. And then adding the Praetorian Guard next to him looks good as well. In this area, there are 11 foot pegs on the floor to help hold up other figures. It'll be interesting to see what kind of look we get with this area in the movie, Last Jedi that is, and what, if any, action will happen in this area. I have no idea what this lighting orb is supposed to be off to the side. Who knows, maybe it's the spirit of Palpatine me. Anyways, next floor down is the hangar deck. These two larger stickers were already pre-applied. This could be a representation from the Last Jedi movie, or it could just be from The Force Awakens, since we saw a similar scene with Poe and Finn escaping in a TIE fighter. No matter, I like the graphics on these stickers. I always like when you see kind of that behind, I don't want to say behind the scenes, but how things work and the operations. You're seeing TIE fighters stored away and AT-ATs being hung from the ceiling, so those were always fun things for me to see. Along the entryway here, you've got a total of 6 stickers that you apply yourself. There's tiny little lines on the side of the wall to help you put the stickers in the right position. In the back of this lower floor area, you do have 4 pegs to help hold the figures up, but of course you can really put them wherever you want as long as they're standing. In this lower area, the figures fit, as far as the height is concerned of the set, they fit pretty good. Then you get off to the sides of the raised platform in this middle area. And in this spot, when you stand a figure up, it raises above the edge of that platform above it. And then if you were to stick a figure on the back of this raised platform, then you're really shoving his head back up underneath that spot. But if you keep him out to the front, no real problems there. It just sits that much higher against the floor. And again, throughout this floor area, you got a lot more foot pegs to help hold other figures up. Overall, for this level, I gotta say, I would have liked like another ½ inch or so of height just to kind of give some breathing room to the figures to reach in there and stuff. But at least we got a lower floor deck in the back area to help, help that cause out a bit. Now also, this raised platform is also the top of the Lightspeed tracking room, as they're calling it. And on the top of this piece, there are a few interactive things you can do where the Force Link Band isn't needed. A quick push of this left button gives you some single blaster sounds. And then if you hold it down for a couple seconds, you're going to get a couple variations of this one when holding it longer. Pushing the button on the right side of this raised area simply sounds an alarm. And then the spot underneath this little black area flashes red. It's a bit washed out from my lights, but you get the idea. And then moving on to that Lightspeed tracking level properly, you get a pretty fair amount of room to play with some toys. First, let's finish off some features of this upper middle black piece. Pushing that right one makes that center black piece break away as if it were part of an explosion. You can also have a figure or two on the top of it and then they fall away as well. When the piece breaks off, it reveals an explosion graphic with some lights flickering behind it. Looking off to the right a little bit on this floor, you see the cannon placed there. You have a little bit of spinning that you can manually do with this, and once you hit the end of each spin, you're going to get a blasting sound effect. And then also with that sound effect, you get some light shining from behind that black centerpiece. And then of course, pushing the button on the top of the cannon shoots out this missile. On the floor in front of this area, you've got a trapdoor. Again, who knows if this is something that's going to come into play in the movie. Certainly makes for a fun little toy feature here. But pushing the red center button drops the floor and then also triggers a sound effect. Aside from that, as far as details go in this center area, it looks good through here. To the left of center, you've got some panel details molded into the plastic, along with some stickers that you need to apply. And you got a bit of red piping running from the floor, up the side, and then around to the top. To the right of center, you got a large sticker to apply that shows a stormtrooper down the hall. There's some red piping here too that runs from the floor along the side and around the top again. And then further right on the side is just a larger area for figures to be placed. Definitely has that first order feel to it. The white you're seeing showing through is from the white of the outer shell of the plastic of BB-8. So these are not stickers that'll wear off over time or something, so that's pretty nice. Plenty of pegs through here to help stand some figures up if needed. And then that outer left side gets you the same Imperial look, but this time we've got a catwalk. Very reminiscent from The Force Awakens. Pushing the left button will drop that ramp down and also trigger a sound effect, which that definitely didn't happen in The Force Awakens. Pretty cool here too to have this feature added to this set though. The ramp does drop down to what is being called the trash compactor, which is really just this foldable piece of plastic with a sticker on it of the trash compactor stuff, which kind of looks like Star Wars Episode 4, that is. You even have the little Dianoga pictured here. So nothing really substantial here, but they're still calling it a trash compactor. And then at the bottom right side of this playset area, you just got another piece of plastic with a sticker of stormtroopers on it. And this is what's being referred to as the garrison corridor. Now for the center bottom of this playset, which is the detention block, it's very reminiscent of Poe and Rey being interrogated in The Force Awakens. I'm sure Kylo has a bunch of these hanging around, and it probably wasn't limited to Starkiller Base. But here too, time will tell if we see this area being used in The Last Jedi. Even if it doesn't show up, it's still a pretty slick area of the playset. This bottom black piece has some nice looks to it. I like the little grid looks and the red panels to it. The chair can be placed in a couple positions as I've mentioned. Now, not all figures will work equally as well here, since some of the 5-point of articulation line of figures tend to have a wider stance in the legs, and you're not going to have the articulation to help guide those in. But still, some of the 5-point figures are going to work, just some won't. Getting the chair out of the way so you can see back into this bottom better. There's a sticker with a stormtrooper with a long hallway running down the back. Luckily, you don't need to apply this one. It comes already on there, so that's good. But this sticker is a nice touch, gives you a bit of dimension to this look. Off to the sides of this area, you get some more red piping running along for some decoration. And then also on each side, you got some doors molded into the plastic. They don't work or anything, it's just for looks. As I mentioned, this playset does come with the Force Band bracelet, and you're going to need 3 AAA batteries for that. So 3 AA's for the playset itself and 3 AAA's for the band. I'm not going to go into details on the Force Link band itself. This is the same one that you get if you were to buy the starter pack separately, except there you're going to get Kylo Ren as an included figure. If you want to see a review on that, I'll put a link below. Now with the Force Link band, you do get 3 areas of interactive sound on the playset. At the top of the throne, towards the front right side, you're going to see the little Force Link indicator symbol. This top position will get you a line from Snoke.
I have been expecting you.
The second area is the trash compactor. You'll see the symbol at the bottom of this piece and hear the sounds from that position. And then the third spot is on the right side where the stormtroopers are placed. Here again, you'll see the Force Link symbol below the sticker.
Hey! All troopers to their stations!
Now as for closing the playset up, what I do is I throw the cannon in the detention center area, and then you fold that panel back up and it latches into place. You remove the catwalk and the hangar bay floor pieces and set those off to the side. Flip the trash compactor and stormtrooper sticker pieces back. Push this little headpiece down on Snoke's chair and then fold the chair down into the floor. And then you fold in the side pieces of BB-8 back into the front position here. And one thing you're going to notice is it might be difficult to get these front pieces to line up and close together properly. Now for me, I found it helpful to lift it up and lean it back a little bit to get it to close all the way, because you're going to need this gap to be closed for the whole thing to latch properly. And then once you get those sides closed up, you're able to flip the head back over and get the whole thing snapped together. Push down on the top of BB-8's head back into the body. Raise the 2 stabilizer arms that are on the back here and then flip up that stabilizer panel. And then all that's left is to take those 2 platform pieces that we took off earlier and those snap onto the backside of BB-8 on the little peg holes. And then just flip that antenna up and you're back into BB-8 mode. Now moving on to the included figures, we're going to start off with Snoke. And taking a look at that Snoke figure, overall to me it's a tall figure. I'm going to stick it next to the Praetorian Guard real quick, and I'd say it's at least an inch taller than that figure there. And the other noticeable thing on this, I guess, is the golden bathrobe. I'm very interested to see how this looks in the movie. But, it's got that white towel underneath with the gold robe over top. So that doesn't help the look of it. But getting into that head sculpt, I think the sculpting and the painting detail on the figure here is really, really good in that head area. You got a lot going on the top of the head, that forehead area with some scarring and some wrinkles above the eyebrows. The eyes look very nicely painted and definitely can see the detail of whatever's going on with his jaw on the side. And as the head rotates around to the backside, you can even see there's a little bit of scarring or, nick in the skull or something on that back of the head. Looking through the chest and the arms of the figure, again, it's that golden robe. It does look nicely painted, nice shine to it, and it does seem to have a little bit of black wash in there. Belt detailing does seem to look pretty good, a little bit of purple edging. The paint job there on that purple, it does seem to run down the front of the belt a little bit here and there. But good depth and dimension to the sculpting, especially the belt layering over top, the little loops around the front. The hands of the figure looks nicely sculpted as well. Lots of wrinkles in the hand. On his left hand, he's got a pretty big ring there, kind of looking like Ming the Merciless ring from Flash Gordon. And looking at the bottom half of the robe, that strap from the belt continues all the way down to the bottom. Nice drape of the robe along the bottom of the floor would be, or is rather. As for the articulation of this figure, no surprise here. It's your basic 5 points of articulation. That head, it's a little tight on mine, but it does turn side to side just a little bit. The shoulder area does go up and down. No wrist, no ankle articulation. And no waist side-to-side movement either. So solid through there. The legs do come forward. And back just a tiny bit. Really nothing worth bragging about. On the insides of the legs, you got the white robe carrying down to the bottom. You see a little sculpting in for his shoe. And that is on both sides of the figure. So nice little touch there for some detailing on the figure. No accessories with Snoke. As you can see, he does have that Force Link symbol on the bottom of his left foot. So let's take a listen as to what that gives us.
There's been an awakening. We will crush them once and for all. The resistance will soon be in our grasp.
And then doing that sliding motion with this figure does give you a sound. Some sort of whooshing effect and whatever that little bit was afterwards. So you get a few lines with him there. Sounds good, nice quality. And now switching over to the Elite Praetorian Guard. This is a pretty cool looking figure. I haven't looked at many images of this guy yet. I've really been trying to stay as spoiler free as possible with magazines and image releases and stuff. So aside from this figure and then also the signage that we're now seeing in the stores, this is really my kind of first look at this guy. The design of it's really cool. The head area kind of reminds me of the Destroyer in the Thor movie. But looking in on that head sculpt, it's, not much to it. It's pretty basic. Everything is round and shiny on the top. And then over that face plate, just lots of lines. As that figure rotates around, you get a little look at the backside here. Got some kind of details molded into the sculpt, but that's about it. Through the arms and chest area, that armor pieces really just kind of overlays on each other there. Looking really good. You do get one center blue dot on the chest piece, but otherwise little bits and pieces kind of molded in there. And then for the bottom half of the figure, you got some layering of what looks like it is probably, cloth, robes or some sort. Couple layers in there. So overall, it is a nice looking figure. I like the red color to it. Very nice and bright. As far as the articulation of this figure, that head area, great rotation. It's on a ball joint, so you get some up and down movement there and lots of side to side. As for the shoulder area, of course, they both go up and back down. No waist articulation. As for the leg area, both legs do come forward. And you're not going to get anything going backwards. And then the same as Snoke, you got some detailing and painting for the legs on the inside of that robe area. Nice black through here for the pants. And then a good look at the red boots there. So you get some added detail even though you're really not going to see much of the figure from that perspective. But it does look really good. And of course, the Praetorian Guard does have that Force Link identification on the bottom of his left foot. So let's take a listen in. And then for that sliding motion, here's what you get. So you get a couple sounds there. Really hard to say what all we're hearing without having seen the movie yet. For his accessory, he does come with one staff, and I believe this would be the shorter staff. I think some have a long staff to them. But you do have some nice detailing along the handle with some red and silver alternating through here. And then a long silver blade with a little bit of red at the top. Or maybe that's the bottom? Either way, a little bit of red through there. It's looking really nice though. And it does fit pretty nice in his hand. So no problems holding that. You're just not going to get any real action posed with it because of the lack of wrist and elbow articulation. So my final thoughts on this playset as a whole is that it is just a fantastic toy. I'm really excited about this playset. I think as a little BB-8 droid sitting in the corner of a room or along the side of the wall, it's going to look great. And then unfolding that out and having a big area to play with your Star Wars figures on is what makes playing with Star Wars toys so much fun, especially when I was a kid. This whole set does retail for $199. And right now in this initial week, you can find it at like Target for $180. I'm sure that's going to come and go throughout the holiday season. And for me, I think that's a pretty good price point for this item. But there's a lot of playability and sounds to this that really make this very interactive toy to use. And it's a pretty decent size as well. And so that wraps up this look at the BB-8 Mega Playset. I'm so happy to see a playset again back on the shelves. Glad I got this one in my collection. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this playset in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching.